Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF 44 coming at you with another update. All right, I need another therapy session. I don't even know if I'll upload it, honestly, because sometimes stuff like this is not really constructive. It's just good for the person that's doing it, and that's never my intention. So I'll do my best to make it constructive, and if I don't like what I hear, I won't upload this at all. But what I'm trying to figure out is, being that I'm an AMC ape and all that, and I'm doing everything I can to hold these shares, and I know that there's some news coming out that the SEC and all of them are looking into Citadel after all this time, 9 months of us trying to figure out how long it was going to take before they start acknowledging what we've been telling them is true and what we've been showing receipts for is true. Yesterday my car was repossessed, or the day before yesterday my car was repossessed. I had to sell $1,400 worth of AMC shares, which was equivalent to 440 shares of AMC. Took that money out of that account yesterday, had it transferred to one of my accounts this morning, just to put myself in a position to get my car out. Because I need my vehicle, obviously. I'm unemployed right now by choice because I don't want to do security anymore and I don't know how to do anything else. And I own all these shares, so it's like if they explode and do what they're supposed to do, I don't have to worry about money in life. Just cut and dry. It's the truth. So what I did this morning was I took that $1,400 and I put it back in AMC. And it feels right. It felt better to do that than to take that money out and give it to those people for a car that's only worth about $7,000 left. A Hyundai that's worth $11,000. Means a lot to me because I love the car. It's the one I wanted. It's the one I liked. It's the one I took care of for 2 years. It's the one that's gotten me back and forth. I don't live in the greatest neighborhood. I don't even be catching buses out here. I don't even live in a black neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I need a vehicle. But when I start thinking about what those shares could be worth, and you start thinking about what the squeeze actually means and what this is, and how much I've already sacrificed, why I was in this situation anyway, psyching myself out about how I neglected my bills and neglect shit. What I was actually trying to do was get the money for them. Because working a $16 an hour job for 40 hours a week plus, my bills, I wasn't gonna even make a dent into my bills. I needed to mortgage today with this opportunity of a huge play so that I can give myself an opportunity at money that I have no chance of getting any other way. And as far as work, we've talked about this. I jumped in that shit when it was like $9. It's at 37 right now. So I've already won. But the type of money that we're hoping for, that ain't it. That ain't it. I need my car. But the reality is, I had let the insurance go. Because I didn't need the monthly bill. See, that's the problem. So I don't have insurance for the car that they have possession of, which means I'm going to have to get insurance to get the car out. I don't want insurance because I wasn't paying it. I let it lapse. I still owe Progressive because I wasn't paying them either. I wasn't paying nobody. I didn't pay anybody. Only people I paid was my phone people, and the only reason why I paid them was to keep the phone on so I could talk to you guys and ultimately have access to the squeeze. I don't have my computer on. I stopped paying that bill for the same reason. I'm a 2K avid 2K player. I don't have internet. I ain't played 2K all year. I ain't had internet. The only thing I've had communication with is this phone. The type of sacrifices I've made, they've been extreme. I haven't bought any clothes for myself. I need them. As you guys can see with these ugly white shirts and shirts that I be wearing every day, I don't take care of myself because I'm trying to expose every coin I have to this opportunity that I believe in. Not just for personal gain, but because it needs to be done. This needs to be done. And it's killing me, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Because of the brain I have, not necessarily because of the play and how long it's taken. That's nothing. Time is going to come, whether you are a part of something or not. It's whatever is gonna happen, gonna happen. What I'm saying is, my resolve to remain working, I just didn't have that strength to stay in security for another year, another 10 minutes, another 5 days. It got to a point where I was walking around Santa Monica Place, just despondent, like not even there. I was so unhappy and so very much looking forward to the release of these stresses financially. It got to a point where I stressed myself out and overwhelmed myself, and I broke. Back in June, one night I was so frustrated leaving work, I think I was driving at probably about 130 miles an hour. 130 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour in a Hyundai. That's alarming, I'm sure. It's alarming to me. But that's how unhappy I was. And it was just a regular day at work. But that's the type of brain I have, man. It's one of the reasons why I stayed in myself the way that I do. Because I struggle so very much with stress indicators and stress, in general. I don't handle it very well. But I took on this responsibility. It's probably a little too much for me, being that I don't have any help. And that's not necessarily true. I have people that will help me, but if you've watched my previous therapy session, you know I don't reach out. It's not my nature to do that. When I do reach out, it's because I know that I don't have a choice. Last time I did reach out to my family, they asked them to front me the money for to get my car out because I couldn't get it at the time, but I paid him back as soon as I could. It's about 3 days I handed him his $1,400. Right? I'm not the person that's going to be asking people for money without giving it back to them. Nor am I the type of person that doesn't pay his bills. But I can't prove that because of the sacrifice I'm making here in this play. Wherever this goes, and that's the thing, that's why it felt right to put that money back in, even though how badly I need my vehicle. It felt right to put that money back in because I have suffered so much for my threshold. Not real suffering. I know the difference. But for what my brain can take, I've suffered greatly. And to see my account looking the way that it was after all this, it drove me into a further depression. I ended up taking a shower, getting in bed, and laying down just like I used to when I was little. I used to do that every day. Every day. No school. I go to school once every month and a half, between probably like 7th grade and like the rest. I go to school like once a month. The rest was me home, depressed, playing video games, following NBA basketball, of course. I've struggled so much with my own brain, man. I got a headache even talking about this. So it's like the resolve to work is why my situation isn't going well. It's not because of the play I'm in. It's not because of how long it's taking. It's not because I got anything wrong in regards to my calculations. Truly, it's just because I didn't have the resolve to spend yet another second doing something that I ultimately was unhappy doing. That's not how to be, you guys. That's not it. You don't take on more than you can handle. And you all know what you can handle and what you cannot. And you don't lose faith when you're this close. And I didn't really lose faith, but I lost hope for a second. And the depression of it all, it started messing with me the way that I've already described. Just making me be confused about why I did this to begin with. Making me think that I'm inadequate in taking care of my business, like I'm somebody that doesn't want to pay his bills, or I'm incompetent in such a way that I can't keep my life going. I must not forget that I've lived alone for over 10 years now. I have, with a lot of support from loved ones and friends, made it this far. And this morning, I was really, really down about my reality because my sacrifices just haven't manifested into a place that's right for me in regards to this money situation. It ain't where it needs to be for me to be taking this amount of shares out. I ain't got it like that yet. But the sad thing is, if this was like the day I quit, because of where the stock was at that time, a fraction of what it would take to get the car out is required. A fraction of what it is today, that is, would have been required. So I'm sitting there with my money in my account, knowing that my car is still in repo, knowing that I still have to find insurance for it, knowing that I still need the car, because if I have to go back to work, I'm going to need a vehicle. And my credit is crap. And mind you this, there's no guarantee they'll even let me have a car. It's not in my hands. Because it's the second repossession, they have every right to say nah. And the ultimate thing that made me put the money back into AMC was the fact that I don't have insurance, as I said. And if you don't have insurance, chances are they ain't gonna let you drive off the lot anyway. So I'm going to go through the process of trying to find affordable insurance, for which I have no intention of doing anything with, because I'm in this play. The sacrifice of this is taking its toll on your boy BDF 44. It's taking its toll, man. But when you believe in something like I believe in this, plus you start seeing signs of your sacrifices finally starting to manifest in ways that at least hint around at this being the right move, even though the SEC's not necessarily going to be initiating any squeeze. But maybe they can put enough pressure on these guys to at least stop the corruption for a little while this thing run up to a place that's more comfortable. At least, if it's not going to moon right now, can at least get somewhere where it's higher than $37. So I can have a good position on my share and still, do what I got to do. And this thing that I was sitting up thinking about today in regards to this play is like, what do I want? Like, what do I want? When I get whatever money is supposed to be coming in this dream of mine, what do I want? Honestly, the only thing I really wanted for myself was like a couple cars, And not cheap cars, but I want some cars. Get my own property, my own home. Pour a little bit into this, right? Of course, work on my channel, get myself together so that I can be an actual brand, as opposed to just some guy with a camera right now. But nah, that wasn't even all it. What I really want to do is take care of my family, man. Now, I don't have a family as far as like my own kids and stuff like that. Hopefully the Lord will put me in a position to kind of get my mind right so I can welcome those type of things into my life. But I'm talking about the people that are already here, nieces and nephews and cousins and aunties, uncles. Someone invest in their businesses, whatever, whatever way best to kind of just let them know that I care. I mean, I'm not going to be no billionaire or nothing. I'm not going to be able to, change people's situation to the point where it's just like they don't ever have to work again, but like whatever they doing, I can support it. Can't do shit right now. Just want for them, pray for them. And as far as like me talking to you guys, I know a lot of people, they start these channels and things like that, and their dreams for themselves within this is to gain wealth. I don't expect to make a dime out of this in my lifetime. I don't. I'm trying to make my money another way, so I don't need to make a dime off this in my lifetime. That's what I want. You see how Kanye treats music? It's a passion project now. He never has to make a dime off music again, and he can invest as much as he wants in music for as long as he wants, because his money is that long. Anytime you see Kanye drop music from here on out, it's going to be because he wants to do it. Same thing with Rihanna. Once you reach that level, same thing with Dr. Dre. They're so rich, they don't need money from what it is that they're good at. They don't have to ruin their art form with the need for success. That's me. I don't want to ruin my art form for the need of success. The organic nature of what this channel's about, I want it to be that way when it's over. Doesn't mean I don't want it to grow. It doesn't mean I don't want it to have all the bells and whistles, but what it means is I want to fund that stuff for myself. And I'm hopeful that this play I'm in will give me everything I need for that. Because I know I'm good. You know what I mean? I know I'm good. I don't need nobody to tell me that. I want to talk this NBA stuff. I know I'm good. But I don't want to be under nobody's umbrella. I don't want to be under nobody's agenda. I don't want to find out what's under the curtain. I don't want to find out some of the people I look up to are assholes. I don't even want to know all that. I want to do my own thing. As you can see, I've already taken on enough stress as I perceive it. I don't need no more. Not as it pertains to certain things like that. Keep it. So that's why this play means so much to me. That's why I'm sacrificing so much of today. That's why I'm letting my life kind of crumble around me right now. Because, it needs to be that way. Otherwise, I'm chasing success, for which takes away my creativity. Or I'm chasing some job which only gives me enough money to stress even more because it ain't enough for the bills. Living in California, y'all. That's what it really is. Not to bash my state, but it is so very expensive to live out here. And if you ain't rich, or if you ain't well off, or if you don't have a bunch of people all pouring into you, you'd better have a hell of a work ethic. You better be ready to, put on your 18 hours a day to live decently, 16 hours a day, That's what's required. Those who don't like to work hard, like myself, who don't want to do that stuff, we don't make it well out here. We don't feel well. You gotta have that hustle. You gotta have that desire. You gotta love money or love what it is you do out here. Because they've squeezed people like myself out, essentially. We're not even supposed to be here. We're supposed to be somewhere where the weather is worse. They don't want us here. That's another reason why I want a lot of money, so I can stay home. All of my friends and family, they leaving this place. I can't afford to stay here. I want to stay home. I'm a Laker fan for life. I want season tickets for Lakers. That's another thing I'll buy myself, some season tickets every year. I'm definitely having that. I don't care what it is. I'm going to be a Staples Center all the time if I ever get some real money. I'm going to be doing these shows from there. So you understand, man, it's not like I want to leave the earth or anything, you know what I mean? I want my life to get better. But the resolve I have, the way that I am, doesn't allow me to really have a whole lot of resolve, a lot of patience, a lot of stress that I can take on and pressure that I can take on. I can't handle it. And I know that. I've known it my whole life, and I hate it about myself. It's one of those things you beat yourself up about. You look at people you know are strong, and you be like, that's what's up, bro. Congratulations, I wish I had that in myself. Or you hear people say, man, people without work ethic, I don't relate to them. People who don't want to work hard, I don't relate to them. I'm like, that makes me feel bad. But I get it. And that's why I don't come around, because I don't want to bring nobody down. I did it to my ex-girlfriend. This type of mentality, all this moping around and shit. She was a go-getter. Go get it, go get it, go get it. She was going after internships. She was doing this, putting in hours, putting this. And I couldn't bring myself to do nothing. I was just always like this. Like you see me in this camera, that's how I was. She couldn't keep up with that. I was dragging her down with my bull crap. Like, honestly. No, I'm a firm believer. If somebody is not on your level, you get them out of it. Even if it's me. If somebody gonna drag you down with their negativity, you turn them off. You stop that energy from coming your way, because that's not the energy that you need to keep going in the direction you're going. So they definitely shouldn't be the partner that you end up with. That was a hard pill to swallow, but being on the other side of it made me even more cognizant of it. It's like, because when I grew out of some of that mentality and started realizing I was dealing with mental illness, and it wasn't just laziness, then I realized I was really harmful for her. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't going to be able to change. You feel me? So letting her go became easier over time, because I started taking accountability for what it was in her life that I wasn't bringing to the table. And I'm at peace with that, If God wanted me to be some miraculous guy, or some hell of a guy, as Kwame Brown be saying, I'd be that. I think he wants me to have these characteristics, these ways, so I can say these things into the camera, because other people ain't gonna say these particular things, because they're not coming from this particular point of view. And that's, I guess, what's acceptable. about struggling is it allows you a unique point of view that maybe can be drawn from in ways that others will not be able to provide. But they can provide what they provide for what you cannot. So it all works out. My story is just my story. It ain't worse than yours. It's just hard for me. You feel me? Some people have indicators, they drop that paper on the floor and it's the end of the world. And my natural inclination is to laugh at them, right? Like, that ain't that serious, bro. But now that I'm self-aware, I realize I'm something like that myself. Just not to that extreme, but the level I'm on is extreme as it pertains to that kind of thing. And that the where I want to be is much more balanced in that way. Some would say, why haven't you gone and get help? My natural inclination is to not do anything at all. When I'm feeling bad, I lay down. When pressure's coming, I walk away. When there's struggle in my midst, I relieve myself of it however best I can. And if I'm unable to, this is the part. If I'm unable to, I actually adapt. That's what history has shown me. If all of that doesn't work, then I start going to work. After all the depression, all the consequences, all of it falls apart, then something in my brain goes, do or die, let's go do. But it never kicks in before that. It's all anxiety and pain and all of this before that. It has to get to a place where I have no choice for me to actually go fight or flight. What is up with that? I do not know. So, that's what I got. Thank you guys for this therapy session. This ain't nothing serious. If you're in AMC, I encourage you to stay in AMC. If you don't own AMC, be responsible with your money. That's all I can really say. Be responsible with your money. Finances, financial life as we've known it is going to change. The biggest wealth transfer in the history of the world is upon us. It's true. How long this is going to take, I do not know. My ability to see it through, I am concerned about that based on my finances and my mental state. But that I believe in it ain't changed at all. Because if I didn't believe in it, I would not have put that money back in that account. And when it does do what it's going to do, I want you all to remember, if you watch this video, I want you to remember this. Because this is a result of a combination of things. First, of course, my own inability to do what I need to do for myself. Because accountability is most necessary. Corruption is ultimately the other aspect of why this is the way it is here in my life. Corruption. Financial corruption that is now being proven to be that. It has trickled down and affected me. However you view me, as an able-bodied, lazy person or a mentally ill person, whatever you see here, I'm affected by this in such a way that this morning there were points in my life where I was not thinking clearly about my own desire to be. That's what my behavior and choices, coupled with the corruption I'm fighting, has caused for me. And I'm not the worst person struggling. I read a story this morning of a lady who bought shares at AMC, and she's hoping it squeezes in time for her husband to save his life because he's going to be dealing with some type of very serious surgery necessary, and they're going to need that money to pay for it. That's what corruption is holding them hostage and doing. That's what the corruption of this nonsense is doing to them. I read about a guy whose mom passed away. She put him on the AMC. And then she got cancer and she didn't make it. And she she made sure all her shares went to him. He's holding for her. She didn't get a chance to see what happened because of the prolonged corruption of people in position who are consciously doing this. There's a lawsuit for people like us. There's a lawsuit for me. There's a lawsuit for that dude whose mom passed away. There's a lawsuit for that person who's waiting for that money to come their way so that they can save their husband's life. There's a lawsuit for them. Someone or an entity of people or collection of entities are making it so that the money does not trickle down to these people. That's what's happening here. It's not just a theory of corruption. We got actual data now. And if a person is dealing with dire straits where they need things in a certain amount of time, for which we all know is the real value here on this earth, not things, but time, because it's the only thing that literally never replenishes. They got us by the balls in regards to our time. They know that at some point they're going to have to give us the money. But as long as they're controlling how long that takes, they can effectively screw a lot of us. And they are. So if there's anything constructive that can come out of this video, it's that. Do I look at myself as a victim of my own behavior first? But sure, some others' behaviors have trickled down and affected the stress level that I'm able to take on, and because of it, here I am making the decisions I've made, etc. It's helped. It's definitely pushed me in a certain direction. So, think of that. Think of that when whatever plays out happens. Think of that. If you own shares, when this thing does start running up, you think of me, you think of that lady, you think of that gentleman who's sitting there hoping that that money comes in time. Hopefully it does. But these people are forcing this stock to stay at $37, at $36. This thing should have been way up already. Way up. My stress or not, my head and decisions or not, remove me entirely. This thing should have squeezed, whatever the word is. And they're suppressing it. And if there's a God, I'm counting on him to make them pay for that. My name is BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.